The following interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.
Hi there, good morning. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Colorado and Company. I'm Denise Plant, and if you or someone you know is battling addiction or a mental illness, this can be a very lonely place. However, during recovery, you or your loved one shouldn't be alone. The Recovery Village at Palmer Lake offers a safe place where you're supported by a professional team from the moment you arrive. They begin to help you or a loved one heal the mind, the body, and the soul. Dr. Sam Kelly and Allison Walsh join me with more. Nice to see both of you.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Congratulations. I know this is the first day that you're opening, so this is exciting. You chose Colorado and Company to launch it. Thank you.
It's the best place to be.
Oh, very sweet. This is a very serious subject. Doctor, how would you define an addiction?
Well, addiction, there's many ways to define addiction, but it's really about pleasure, and it's about your brain seeking pleasure. So I guess if I had to define it, it's your brain, a repetition or a compulsive action that brings pleasure to you, that at the same time is adverse, creates problems for you and your family.
You're trading one problem for another.
Yeah, pleasurable activity, problem. Repeat over and over and over.
Are there different levels of addiction?
There are. Well, there's different stages of addiction.
Okay.
There are different levels of addiction. And there's different stages of recovery, too. So if you look at it, you find some people that have, if you look at a binge drinker, for example, who drinks on the weekends, or perhaps somebody that drinks daily, those are different addictions in some ways, but they all do the same thing to your brain, cause pleasure, and occur repeatedly and cause adverse events. So there are different stages.
And at Palmer Lake, are there different people welcome that have different problems with addictions, or just a certain kind and mental illness?
Absolutely. Alcohol and substance abuse primarily. We're working on other tracks like eating disorders and some other kinds of addictions. There are so many different types of addictions. So we see adults with mental illness and addiction, and we treat both their mental illness issues and their addiction issues. That makes us very unique in the world of addictions, that we address the whole person, both physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, socially. So we look at the whole person.
And what are some of the key elements that go into overcoming an addiction or a mental illness that you found at the Recovery Village?
So an addiction is almost an ongoing recovery. You talk to a lot of individuals who are in recovery. They're always in recovery. They're in recovery for life, both for mental illness and for addiction. So some of the things that we do that are very unique, we have medication-assisted treatment like naltrexone for individuals who have alcohol addiction.
That helps them come off without going into seizures or something, right?
Yeah, well, it helps them. Naltrexone will help decrease the cravings of the addiction. So if somebody takes the medication, their cravings may go away. We don't even ask them to stop drinking necessarily. It just reduces their cravings for naltrexone. There are other ones called Suboxone for opioid, who have opioid addictions. But then really importantly, there are cognitive-based therapies, and we have an innovative cognitive-based therapy approach called neurobehavioral cognitive therapy. And it's a positive psychology CBT or cognitive-based therapy approach that we've seen tremendous outcomes.
And sometimes that's what someone needs. They need that positive therapy and compassion.
Absolutely.
How important is compassion when you're going through a mental illness or if you're addicted to drugs or alcohol or anything like that?
Well, it's huge, and I think that for all of our patients, it's about being comfortable and understanding and ridding themselves of that shame. And so our staff are so well prepared to treat them and to welcome them. And from the moment that they call through the entire treatment episode, through discharge planning, there is that level of compassion and understanding. And so many of our wonderful team members are in recovery themselves, so we understand, we've lived it, and we're living testaments.
And with that, is that how you're able to ensure that all available resources are available for someone that comes to see you?
Yes, and we do. I mean, we look at the whole person, as Dr. Kelly mentioned. So we're looking at how can we best prepare them for recovery. It's not just about the time that they're with us, it's about preparing them for life afterwards. And so making sure that they have comprehensive plans in place
Good.
and they have the support network. So many of our patients come to us and they have to get away from the people, places, and things that are triggering to them, that have caused them to get to the point that they're at right now. And so it's really about making sure they've got that support in place for afterwards so that they're successful.
And they're accepting patients today. The number to call right now is 877-938-1612. Again, it's 877-938-1612 if you know anyone suffering from a mental illness or an addiction problem. And let's hear from a successful alumni.
The life I led before coming to a place, by advanced recovery systems was awful. And the rehab taught me a new way to live.
I was using heroin for 3 months, and when I felt like my life was spiraling out of control and I didn't want to go back to being addicted to opiates for another 3 years. So that's when I found the Recovery Village.
If you want help, they're there to help you. I mean, they'll bend over backwards to help you.
That summer I had my first drink on July 4th, and I smoked weed for the first time later that month. Within about 2 or 3 months, I was a full-blown pothead and drinking every single night.
Right from when I walked in the doors, they were so caring, and you could tell that they cared about their patients. I had an amazing therapist. She helped me uncover things that I had never talked about before, and I finally was able to get them out.
My therapist was amazing, and anytime you needed help with anything, any therapist, any tech, any nurse is there to help you with any problems that arise within us. Like I said, we're a different breed, and we panic very easily, and they make it really, really simple for you.
The Recovery Village saved my life.
The Recovery Village saved my life. It gave me hope, and it made me a better person.
The Recovery Village saved my life. The Recovery Village saved my life.
The best part about this is that hole in my heart that I was speaking about is no longer there. It's not fully healed, but it's wonderful.
Wow, that's such a profound statement. The Recovery Village saved my life, and the Recovery Village at Palmer Lake can save your life. If you know anyone that's suffering from a mental illness or an addiction, you should call today. They're accepting patients, 877-938-1612. And Allison, I heard a lot about the therapist and the people inside, but what's the environment like?
Well, our new location in Palmer Lake is absolutely breathtaking. We found a former hotel that was renovated, so it's right in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. It's incredibly beautiful. It's serene. It's peaceful. The moment you walk in the door, you can see through the entire first floor right out to the mountain. So it's just breathtaking, and it's a real removal from the stress and anxiety that everybody's going through, just to relax.
Stress and the anxiety of the daily grind of every single day. Now, doctor, you have a lot of experience nationally with improving the level patient of care. Do you find that you're doing a great job at the Recovery Village at Palmer Lake? It has everything there to offer.
I think it's an incredible place to be. It's a highly therapeutic environment. You got the beautiful view that you can sit there and just meditate, and I think that's therapeutic, because we certainly offer a lot of meditation and yoga in addition to our normal programming for substance use disorder. But nationally, we have rolled out our treatment programs and found very positive outcomes, especially with the fabric of our company, which we call the ABCs of healing feeling. And it's a neurocognitive behavioral approach, and it works really, really well, combined with a lot of scientific other approaches that we use at the same time.
Allison, how many patients have you helped?
Well, we opened our first location, it's actually 2 years ago tomorrow, so we're celebrating an anniversary for our Florida facility. Almost 2,000 patients have come through our doors, and you got to see several of our alumni, and it makes me tear up even watching them. I've seen them come in, the worst of the worst, and come out and have new lives. Yes, it's amazing to see what they've done, and they've transformed their lives.
Well, Colorado's making a big movement helping people with addiction addiction and mental illness problems. So thank you so much for coming on the show to launch your new facility.
Thank
you, Denise.
The Recovery Village at Palmer Lake offers a full continuum of care to help you on the road to recovery. You can change your life. If you or someone you know is battling addiction or other mental health issues, this can be a very lonely place. The Recovery Village at Palmer Lake is located at 443 South Highway 105. Again, the address 443 South Highway 105. And the professional team is now admitting patients and offering free consultations. For more information, if you'd like to speak with someone, please call this toll-free number. Reach out today. It's 1-877-938-1612. That number again, 877-938-1612. Learn more online at their very friendly website, palmerlakerecovery.com. And the Recovery Village at Palmer Lake paid for today's segment.